So in this video, you're gonna hear me do an audio commentary of me shooting some raw footage here of George on a laptop. And the reason why this is important is actually in its simplicity. It's probably gonna be the thing that you shoot B-roll of the most, especially in office spaces. There may be no other B-roll of you to get of the person that you're interviewing. So I know it seems a little weird to be filming something this boring, but it's gonna be something you do probably 3 days out of the week, easy. So this raw, about 10 minutes long, is going to show you how I go about doing that. I'm also going to narrate to you what I'm thinking and how I'm getting what I'm getting, because there is no second or third angle like in some of my other videos. So here we go. So regular, medium wide, I've just got my elbows on the table, stabilizing both hands, holding the phone. Now I've got that. I've held that for a good 5-6 seconds. I know it's usable. That chair, I'm going to rest my elbows on the top of the back of that chair. So I'm sitting in the chair backwards, if you will, and I'm getting this reverse shot. So we saw him from the one end, we see him from this end.
What did he do?
I happen to be shooting in the order in which I could edit the shots in this order. I just gotta take out the 2 or 3 seconds as I go here. This third shot here, getting close on the keyboard, the phone is down on the table, and I'm just sort of waiting for George there to type. I'm getting a sense for his rhythm and really what he's doing on the computer. He's doing a lot of mouse, more so than keyboard, but here he took a break. He may be typing in a web address or a note or something. I don't know what he was typing, but he typed a lot with both hands. I got it. And so now I'm moving here. This is really cool. I flipped the phone upside down. And here's a picture of me doing that. I wanted to see if I could get this angle, if the phone, 1, could pull the focus, and 2, could it stay steady? This is not something a GoPro can get. This is not something you're gonna be able to get with a regular camera on a tripod. They're too big to get this low or this close. I'm just trying it to try it, and since it worked, it's certainly going to go into my finished sequence here. As you can hear, if I were to stop talking, we have some great nats of George typing too. That's how close, because the phone's so close, that's how close the mic is. So that's nice as well. So here I've got an interesting angle on his monitor, and there's not a lot going on the left-hand side there because he's got one window open. I think it's Facebook there on the right. So I'm just gonna hang here until he does what he does, see if he pulls something over. He didn't, so I actually zoomed in on that second camera on my phone, the 2X, and I was gonna frame up Facebook, but then he went to his email, and that went full screen, so that was awesome. I do ask George here if there's anything sensitive in the email, because of course if there was, I would not film that. I would ask people that all the time in their office space, especially if they were an Outlook Express or some kind of email manager. If they were working on something sensitive, I would not film their screen. So here, I'm just waiting until I get a good angle with what he's using on the screen. This we could possibly use, it's a video ad, so I probably wouldn't put that on the news. But a little few frames of a video, quite possibly, depending upon if I'm worried about copyright or not. What I'm doing here is I grabbed some styrofoam cups to put the actual phone on as a vertical tripod. And it actually worked, which was very cool. Because I wanted to get some of the plastic frame of the screen in there to help box things out. This is a much better shot than the previous ones I was filming because there's not as much glare. You do see sort of in the top left there a reflection of some of the ceiling lights, especially when you're in black. But it's not anything like what it was in the previous shot. So I'm just here playing, hanging on for 6-7 seconds, and then changing the shot just to get a variety here. I may not use all of these screen cutaways, but I want a variety.
I overheard somebody on the phone.
I think there I put the cups back. Now I'm doing something you only want to do if you're going to be rock solid stable, so triple check your safety before you do this. I'm standing on one of those chairs, which does roll. That's the dangerous part. Don't try this at home. I have the back of the chair propped up against the table, so it's safer, but again, choose your own adventure on this. We're not responsible for anything that happens to you or your camera. I just want to be transparent with you on how I got this shot. This is a very different shot. It may not make its way in. I just want to show you guys how many different angles there are in shooting something so boring and simple as just working on a laptop. That last one was what you call an aerial high angle shot. This is what you would call a trick shot, so to speak. Sometimes, as I was explaining before in another video, how in glasses sometimes you get a magnification depending upon how large the lenses are in the frame. You get a little bit of this in here. It's not the full screen, but that's okay. We don't need it. As long as it looks cool, that's what you're looking for. You're looking to show somebody the world in a way that they haven't seen it before. So we see the screen like we usually would, but then again, sort of seeing through George's glasses there, that's a cool plus. And see here with the thumbnails, if I cut there, you can see some of them in there, and that people would find cool. This is just a regular dead-on center shot, thinking, what do I have, what do I need? I've got some good basic stuff in the beginning. I got close-up of the keyboard. I've got an aerial overhead shot I may or may not use. What else don't I have yet? I just don't have a simplistic medium with George Center, so I got it there. And as I was watching him do whatever he's doing, I saw that he was using the mouse and thought, wait a minute, I don't have any mouse work yet. So that's when you saw me move to get the mouse. And I do believe here I get one or two different angles of it. And so I'm just waiting for him to use that scroll wheel to move the mouse. I'll have him, well, I won't have him, he'll naturally click a couple of times. That sometimes too can be a really quick nap pop, very, very traditional for a TV news package or for any kind of sequencing. So he's certainly doing that. This cool low angle shot, you got the laptop there in the right foreground. You've got him working. I can cut to that anytime in the sequence, and it certainly cuts. This, getting the keyboard again. Now we're looking at it left to right from the opposite angle that all those other keyboard shots were. I'm just hanging, waiting for him to do whatever it is he's gonna do. He'll eventually type a URL or comment on something. And again, he'll eventually use that mouse too, which is what he was doing, and why you see me here reposition myself there. And this is a much better shot than the one I got before. So if I could only use one mouse shot, it's gonna be this one. Lots of scrolling, lots of clicking, and lots of movement. So this shot would easily mix in with any of the other shots in this sequence. We'll hang here, see what George is gonna do. We'll hear some... Let's see, yeah, definitely a trailer after this commercial. Oh, we're watching the Halloween trailer. All right. Both ends are on the keyboard. Yeah, hear that beautiful NAT sound. You'll also get a little bit of that video in there, but as long as the speech and things are clean, that's all right. And here, lastly, thinking about what do I have, what do I need, what haven't I gotten yet? I have not gotten a super wide. It is a good establishing shot. We see we're in a huge room. There's a desk, there are offices. And as I cut to the shots of George, you'll realize very quickly as the viewer that this story is about George and nobody else in the shot. In this, I think there are, as I'm looking in my timeline, there are 14 video clips, anywhere between 14 or 20 different shots. So, and that's all of George doing one thing. He's commenting online on Facebook and YouTube and watching YouTube videos. And we've got 14 shots of it. And again, too, all with a cell phone, which is really cool as well. So imagine how cool your stuff would be if you've got a regular ENG camera or DSLR getting the medium stuff or maybe his face, and then you go in super tight with a cell phone or a GoPro, how creative and great your sequences can be. So hopefully that helps you guys see ordinary, boring things in a much more creative way, hopefully a much more motivational way, because a lot of the stuff you guys shoot every day is not going to be super exciting, especially on the stories that are really good in journalism, but not necessarily visual, but your managers are still sending you out to tell that story.